Welcome to the Delaware Mortgage Rate Weekly Mortgage Market Update for the week of March 30th, 2015. Hello, I'm John Thomas with Prime Residential Mortgage. Here to give you your update. Well, last week was not good for Delaware mortgage rates. They did spike higher on Wednesday. If you take a look at the bond chart on the screen, you can see that big red candle on Wednesday. There was a sell-off in both the stock and the bond market. Continued again on Thursday, sold off again. Friday looked like we were able to find a bottom, but we did break that trend line. It was mortgage bonds moving higher, interest rates moving lower. So the short-term trend now is for bonds to move lower. But with the green candle on Friday showing a level of support, we're going to recommend cautiously floating your Delaware mortgage rate to start the week to see if mortgage bonds have found a bottom and can rally from here. If they open Monday and start selling off, we will quickly switch to a locking stance, but for right now, we're recommending cautiously floating to see if mortgage bonds can recover from the sell-off last week. Now, if we dig into the economic news, the big report last week was the final reading of gross domestic product, or the GDP, for the fourth quarter of 2014 came out at 2.2%. That was well below the 5% GDP reading for third quarter. And the overall GDP for the entire 2014 came in at 2.42%. That's not great considering we're in the sixth year of economic recovery. We would expect the GDP to be over 3%. So that's showing the U.S. economy is still dragging, and that's one of the reasons why the Federal Reserves have delayed raising short-term interest rates. Then we saw a measure of inflation come out last week, which was the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, for February. It was up 0.2%. which was in line with estimates, but a big reversal from January, which was negative 0.7%. So that's the first positive reading on inflation after 3 months of negative or deflation coming out. Now, the higher inflation was attributed to prices at the gasoline pump going up with the price of oil going up and higher cost of food and shelter. So we'll have to keep a watch on that. If inflation starts kicking in, that is the enemy of bonds, so that could raise interest rates higher in the short term. Then we saw weekly initial jobless claims released on Thursday. They came out at 282,000 claims for the week. That was a drop of 9,000 claims in the previous week, and the third week claims were below the 300,000 mark. So holding steady pretty much for the initial jobless claims. We'll have to keep a watch on that. Then we had several reports on housing news. The first one was new home sales for February 2015 were up a whopping 8% from January to 539,000 units. That was better than expected and the strongest reading in almost 8 years. And then the median home price of a new home sale was up 4% to $275,500. The second report on housing was existing home sales for February 2015, was released by NAR, and it rose 1.2% from January to 4.88 million units, and that's on an annualized basis. Sales were up 4.7% year over year. This was slightly below expectation, 4.9 million units, but it was still a good report. We're still up 4.7%. We're almost at expectations. Overall, a good report. Now, the median home price of existing home sales was up to $202,600, which was up 7.5% from a year ago. And so overall, very positive report on housing from both of those. Then USDA is working on files submitted as of March 17th, and that was Friday, March 27th. So there's still about a 10-day drag on USDA to review files. So when you're submitting offers, plan on a 10 business day or a 10-day drag on reviewing files at the end of your underwriting period. So you got to plan that in when you're making offers. And then the local news, the next first-time homebuyer seminar is Saturday, April 18th from 10 a.m. to noon in Newark, Delaware at the Christiana Hilton Hotel. And then the next one in Dover is Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Dover Holiday Inn. You can register for either one of those events. Make us a call in the office at 302-703-0727 or online, www.delawarehomebuyerSeminar.com. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.